Now to the latest on the federal government shutdown. Day 2, there's still no end in sight. Republicans and Democrats continue to be at odds over enhanced Obamacare subsidies. President Trump met with his budget director today. They reportedly talked about massive layoffs of federal workers.
It's likely going to be in the thousands. That's something that the Office of Management and Budget and the entire team at the White House here, again, is unfortunately having to work on today. These meetings would not be happening if the Democrats had voted to keep the government open.
Donald Trump and Republicans have made clear they wanted to shut down the government. They want to inflict pain on the American people.
If Republicans don't convince enough Democrats to change their votes tomorrow, the Senate Majority Leader says he will not keep lawmakers through the weekend. Instead, they will likely try again on Monday. Now, one immediate impact of the shutdown that we're feeling here in Southern California is that we will not be seeing the Thunderbirds at the Pacific Air Show this weekend. Christina Gonzalez, she's live in Huntington Beach now with more. Christina?
Yeah, you might be able to hear the jet engines going on all around us, but because of the federal mess, as people here are calling it, U.S. military planes and acts will not be here. And that includes some favorites. Take a look. That is the Air Force Thunderbirds, and they're not going to be here. F-35 fighters, the jets demo, also not going to happen. The air show organizers are saying they still have, a 5-hour show with Canadian Force snowbirds. They're really good, the Royal Air Falcons, but the people here are resigned but not too happy. Listen.
We come down for that every year to watch the F-16s fly and, break the sound barrier, but is what it is.
You've heard?
Yes, I have, and I'm totally bummed out about that.
I think a federal shutdown's a federal shutdown. I mean, anything federally granted and funded is going to get trimmed down.
The Thunderbirds are not going to be here.
Right. I like the fast jets, but I think it'll still be nice.
Now, one of the acts that was supposed to be here is NORAD. Now, don't fret, because we happen to be up with them. They allowed Fox 11 up in their planes earlier this week to show us how they keep the skies safe in North America. So you get a close-up look. Take a look at this. Jet fighter pilots being deployed. F-15s with the North American Aerospace Defense Command. NORAD is the joint U.S.-Canadian military organization that monitors and protects North American airspace. Their mission on this deployment? To intercept a small plane with Fox 11 on board. We're getting a close-up look at how NORAD protects TFRs, or temporary flight restriction areas, which prohibit planes from flying near events like political conventions. In this exercise, we're aboard the TOI, or Target of Interest, with NORAD pilots.
We're the main target, so now look on your left side. The F-15s are on their way up.
Imagine you are flying, like I am, on a NORAD plane or any plane, and you look outside the window, and what you see is that.
The very first thing that they try to do upon intercept is contact the TOI via radio. If the pilot doesn't respond, then the fighters, whichever ones they are, now come up on the side of the airplane.
They're trying to look inside our plane, check if the pilot passed out or why no one is answering the radio. That doesn't work. They do what's called a headbutt, where the F-15 literally crosses across the front of the plane. If that doesn't get your attention, getting hit with the turbulence called jet wash of an F-15 will.
Ooh.
Yeah, what was that?
Everybody's okay? That was the jet wash of the airplane.
So what is that for? What's that?
It's not necessarily intentional, but it does get your attention that, hey, you're in a restricted airspace and you're not supposed to be here.
Aircraft, this is an armed air defense fighter on guard. You have been intercepted. If you hear this transmission, acknowledge with a radio call. If you do not cooperate, you will be fired upon.
Yes, the F-15s are armed. Time to follow them back to base. No shots fired.
We've never had to do that since 9/11, thankfully. The last thing that we want to do is to shoot down a civilian airplane, especially if it's a pilot that's lost or radios aren't working.
Sometimes you end up where you shouldn't be, and that's why a lot of times we end up airborne, and just to help people get to where they need to be.
These TFR violation interceptions exercises taking on more urgency, though, as NORAD expects more temporary flight restrictions with upcoming events like the Olympics.
It's going to happen. Those airplanes don't stop flying just because the Olympics are here. We have the World Cup soccer is coming up here next year. So NORAD is going to be very busy making sure that those venues are safe from any potential attack.
Now, just because they're not going to be here at the air show, it doesn't mean they're not working. Even with the federal shutdown, they're operating 24 hours a day, 365 days a week. As for the air shows, opens tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live in Huntington Beach. Back to you guys.
Christina, we know that you're brave. Your new nickname is Christina Top Gun Gonzalez. When did you fly? When was that? And what was that moment like, with that turbulent moment?
Oh, you know, I flew out, actually. We were doing it on Monday because we wanted to do a preview of what they were doing here. And I have flown before in the jets, but it was, let me tell you, that thing comes up so fast and suddenly it slows down right there.
Oh, gosh.
And they're looking at you and I'm looking, I mean, it's like, how do they do that?
Yeah.
And then when they cut in front, it bounces you down. That, I had never felt that. We were all like, oh my God. So, and they know what they're doing. And like they said, they take it very seriously. The best of this, real quickly,
yes.
Pilots, they tell me that the majority of the pilots, when they see them first fly by, the first thing they do is they try to take a selfie. You would think you see one of those flying next to you. I'd be like, oh my God, what happened? But yeah, look, you know, no. If they're next to you and you're flying, please answer the radio, because the next step is a threat to shoot you down. Take it seriously.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, that was a great piece, Christina. Thanks so much.